That's a good. I always thought that was a good bit, which is called Defend Your Amazon, where you have to go to your Amazon orders and
Oof, oh,
that page you
I
have to
can't.
explain what are you doing?
Actually,
What's going on?
Harley's got
I
way too
actually
much
cannot.
lube
I
in
can't
there.
even share with you guys.
Yeah.
I can't even share with you guys why I can't. So
Yeah, it's great. See, that to me is hilarious. But then my stuff is all like, yeah, it's funny. I feel like that's a good
It's like
bit.
monkey
But
pox
you gave me, but what you
at
just said is
home
great,
kit.
which is like, yeah, you got 4 pounds of ivermectin.
Yeah.
ivermectin
it's-
and the 6-time boost is crazy.
You
And
should straight up just be like, defend your YouTube algorithm. Defend your YouTube algorithm, right? Like,
Yeah.
I do make people in person. They're like, oh, like I like YouTube. Oh my god, show me.
show me.
Yeah.
Load it up, dude.
I want to see it.
Show
Pull
me,
that thing
why
down. I
you,
wanna
why
see
you
at
watching
least 3 of them.
female volleyball high school girls? Like, what is this algorithm here?
You know.
Swim meets.
Yeah, you know why they have 30 million views of people doing long jump. You understand
Yeah.
what's going on there.
What up? Welcome to the Binge Eater Podcast. Your boy, the South Spouse. I'm here with Donnie Duckett's Big Lynch, and we got Freddie.
Yo, what up? It's me. I'm here.
I remember talking about this. Never thought that. I talk about it all the time. Every time AI stuff comes up, but being an artist or being a voice actor at risk to being taken by a machine
Yeah.
is just so crazy.
Here's my move.
Because that wasn't
I've
supposed
not-
to be the thing.
That wasn't supposed to be a thing, but here's my move that I don't think anybody's touched yet, and anyone can take this. So
Shotgun, mine.
this one's yours if you want it. So I think about furry artists and how like it's well known in the illustration community that like doing not safe for work commissions is like your bread and butter. Like you're gonna draw anthropomorphic animals, you're gonna take those requests and you're gonna take that cash because furries support artists, right? So that to me strikes me as like that's an easy low hanging fruit if for AI to take over, because it's like there's probably an art style you like. There's probably enough sample images for these AI image algorithms to kind of figure it out. And also the nature of it is already a little bit like, ooh, I kind of have to interact with another person and give them kind of the perverted stuff I want. Like I wish another human being didn't have to get involved. So if you're a furry artist, this is what I think you do. You train your own AI off of your art style. And then you sell a subscription to it. It's like, put whatever smutty prompts you want. It's my art that is trained off of, and you're getting $5 a month. You can put in as many prompts as you want, as much pictures as you want, but it's me that you're now buying so I'm not like an artist anymore. I've trained an AI off my art and I'm selling subscriptions to my art style.
Yeah, see,
Basically, Futanari Netflix is what you're talking about.
I can't make this happen. I could draw, but not that well. Like I can't.
No.
draw
You
tits.
need to.
I could
you
draw
need to-
tit. I could do one. But it's never gonna match the next one enough. To
No,
be
no, no.
Like it's part of the same set.
Yeah.
So
Like
I don't have
fundamentally,
this
it's like having a lot of single socks in your drawer, and you're just like gonna have to mix and match the best you can.
I am the single sock of the tit drawing game. T-shirt alert! T-shirt alert!
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bumper sticker right there.
Yeah. So Freddie, what you been gaming on lately, bro?
My
Oh, actually, hold up. That's
Yeah.
that's good. But I already know, so I don't care because I've been gaming with you. But what you been munching on lately? You were one of the first
Munching.
people I ever got dinner with in LA.
That
when
was
I
a
got there.
wet. That was a wet and wild way that we met, which was I think it was like Valentine's Day, right?
It was close to that.
It was close to like
Kind of
Valentine's
adorable.
Day.
And we hit up
Animal on
RIP.
Fairfax, which is now no longer.
Yeah.
Well, so there was
bone
this.
marrow.
Ooh, yeah.
You were like, I was like, I'll get a Diet Coke, please. And Freddie was like, Mexican Coke, do you have that? And they were like, and I'm like, what a question. And they're like, we do. It's also 2010. And they're like, we do. And they walk in. I'm like, bro, what's
They're like,
Mexican Coke?
what a
What don't I
discerning
know?
gentleman.
I was like, what's Mexican Coke? And actually, Freddie right away wasn't like, you don't know what Mexican Coke is?
I'm never that
This
way.
guy doesn't know what Mexican. No, literally, you never. But like, this guy doesn't know what Mexican Coke is. Dude, you don't know anything.
No, I think if anything, my fault is I get too excited when people don't know things. And I really like explaining things I've learned on Wikipedia. That's like maybe my worst possible trait. Is
They
I get
say
like,
something.
oh, do you know about this? And I was like, I don't care. Did I ever tell you that my cocaine story where it was like, this is this trait to a T getting fought back against. So I had read that if you add like acetone or like paint thinner or something like that, some chemical, some household chemical to cocaine, it will like dissolve out the other adulterants, but the substrate that gets left behind will be purified cocaine. So I was at a LA party and people were doing lime and coke. I was, and the people were. Yeah, they were. And so I roll up and I'm like, hey,
look, it's at my
did
house,
you know? I was like, did you know? Hey, everyone, did you know that if you take paint thinner, right, and add it to it, you could like purify it out, and then you'll know how much your dealer is cutting you. So then, maybe if you have a friend you send them to that dealer, then you could see how much they're giving them at first. What's it pure? Yeah, you'll know like how much you're getting cut. And I was met with just like 4 blank expressions, and this lady goes, but then we would have less cocaine. I'm like, well, we'll see, no, but and I was like, you know what? You guys have a good time. I
wonder if this would actually work, or if you're just kind of like putting cotton candy in water. Like you're gonna like pour nail polish remover all over someone's coke, and it disappears, and you're like, ta-da!
No, I know full well that there's a good chance that they just have mostly meth and don't realize it.
Yeah, or like lidocaine,
that's their
right?
bag, and they like that. They like what it's doing. They're like, it makes my mouth numb, and I like shaking a little bit, and my heart beating fast. And it could be that, and you just dissolve all their meth, and you're like, no coke.
And they're just
and they're like, yeah, but we wanted meth.
Yeah,
you dissolved all our meth, bro.
This is why I don't. This is why I don't work at parties very well. I don't do
You're a magician that just goes and ruins people's baggies.
No, we ran out of lighter fluid once, and my dad started a charcoal barbecue with paint thinner.
You can do that?
No. Or you have to, you can get a flame going, but you shouldn't cook on that flame. And I ate a steak. I swear to God, I'll never forget it because it was literally grade 7 high school dance, my first high school dance. And they were very protected. You couldn't smoke weed. You couldn't drink. They were very like guarded. They were like sniffing you at the door. And so I didn't do any drugs. And I ate this steak that fucked me up more than any joint I'd ever tried in my 13 years on the planet.
Wait, so how showed up? Yeah. Sorry to go.
No, I was just saying I showed up high on fucking paint thinner steak. And I told my dad, and my dad's like, oh, bullshit. And
you got a cigarette,
and then
you're like, you thought I did.
The next day, I like come home from school, and he's like sitting at the kitchen table, like white as a ghost, and he's like, "All right, so you weren't lying about the steak." He was high as fuck.
Tell me, how old was your dad at this age? Because like in my head, it's always like a dad. I think of a dad, but now you could tell me, and I could be like, "That's like an idiot 29-year-old."
Yeah.
So he definitely wasn't 29.
I know.
He must have been like 42.
This is a mistake we all could make. Is what?
If we didn't have the internet, think about how much worse we'd be at things.
Oh, insanely so.
Yeah.
The amount of
dissolved
stuff.
no cocaine.
The amount of stuff that, or even like, I would even go so far as to say like even early internet was a minefield. Because you remember the Anarchist Cookbook?
Yes.
You remember downloading that text file, dog, with all the sick ASCII art? Yeah, they're like, people are like, yeah, most of the stuff in here will not work or will harm you.
Yeah, there's a whole fucking, I watched a documentary on that book like recently where, and I shouldn't be bringing this up because I remember next to nothing other than that I watched a documentary on that book recently. And
stunning indictment of the documentary.
Yeah. No, it's because you can still buy the book, but it's edited now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that's out of it. And
hey, we should bring it back.
I have a weirdo uncle that like ordered it from that dude way back in the 90s.
Oh, really?
And he has like an original production of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool artifact.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Back in the day, did you hit up MIRC? Were you like one of those guys? Did you put,
I was on
burn
IRC,
CDs
dude.
for your boys back
Bro,
in the
I
day?
was on. I remember my favorite part about burning CDs back then was the sort of like voodoo magic you had to go through with your home computer. It was like, because you remember the buffer overrun error when it was like you couldn't do anything on that PC. And I was like, I remember one time I was like talking to my friends, like, yeah, I burned my CDs at 8x speed. I'm like, 8x speed? What are you, a psycho? You just got fucking CDs to just burn
I
away?
remember that, yeah. You'd
It was
be
like
yo,
2x
you bought
at
those? You can't buy
most.
these. You have to buy the perfectly shit burnable CD.
2x.
That's perfectly shit, but not the cheapest. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
pointless. 1 out of every 5 fucks up. And you did have to go, like, you buy the 8X, so you could go 4X.
So you could do 4X.
Yeah.
I would be like 2X at most. And then I'd be like, no one go in the room. I got disabled the
no one
screensaver. No one go in until my...
laughing and stomping their foot. You're like, yo,
and it goes
the house.
As if it's a microphone.
Yeah. That was the era of like technology that fucking ruled. Like I remember I was playing Quake 2, and then like I didn't understand like what graphics drivers and stuff were, and I was like, oh man, I need to get a better graphics card. I remember distinctly at the time it was the GeForce 2 was out, and my friend had a GeForce 2, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then I was like, I gotta update the drivers. Oh wait, I have a graphics card, and then I just had a built-in graphics card that was like okay, but it was like. I had one the whole time. I didn't even realize it. It was
You're like, one day I'll have one.
Yeah. And then
like it was in you all
along. It was
along.
in me the whole time.
I know at this point you're probably like maybe 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
I know the monumental emotional feeling you saw when you were putting 2 and 2 together, and you're like, I have a graphics card. Like in your little brain, you're like, I'm the main character. Like
Straight
I
up.
literally, obviously, I have a graphics card.
I still remember this. This is a formative memory. I remember going to the graphics settings and being like, do I dare do 1024 by 768? Like I could. And I clicked.
You're like,
down
no,
to it.
that's not for guys like me.
That's not for me.
That's
no
for
way.
the other guys.
Yeah. And I was like, I set to 1024 by 768, and it ran, and it was like smooth, and I was like, that day cemented my fate as a gamer.
Yeah, I remember downloading N64 Shadows of the Empire on computer.
Oh, ROMs?
Like, whoa, like you could do this, and running it and it being like open GL error or something about like I didn't have 3D capabilities. Brutal. And then I remember my dad getting a good computer and like 2 years later playing Counter-Strike on it because everyone was playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
I played it 8 or 9 frames. But it was still, there was no part of me that thought this was a bad experience.
Yeah.
Like,
No, we've been ruined.
Appreciated shit.
No,
like,
we've been ruined by like the graphics card now where they're like, we're going to use AI to generate extra frames for your fucking eyeballs. Like, it's not enough. You must set the
Predictive
target.
frames.
We're going to use future sensing technology to generate so it feels smoother to you. And it's like, how much smoother is it really feeling? Like, yeah, it'd be like, yeah, I can tell. I can tell the difference between 72 FPS and 60 FPS. It's like, okay, sure. But like, you're talking to someone who was like, I was going from 15 to 30. Like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was going from single digits to double digits with that graphics card.
I do need at least 60, and I'm aware that I'm content. Like, I'm good with 60. But like, I really know a 120 or a 144. Like,
No, it feels like I'm in the Matrix.
That's like fucking crazy. And oftentimes I feel like if it doesn't look as smooth as a 144 should, I'm like, my monitor's not doing the most right now.
Can I tell you the move that I've done that I recommend everybody do? And this, I got this from a friend of mine. Listen up, everybody. I'm going to pull the camera over to my right so you can see it. I have here
a computer, a very wide
42-inch monitor, like a TV.
Wait,
like
is that a monitor?
Yeah, it's a
what's the refresh rate on that?
120.
That's a 120 40-inch?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for him. When did you get that?
I got this off of my friend he's a software engineer, and he uses this instead of 2 monitors side by side. He's just like,
I'll find him and kill him.
Find him and replace him.
I've been waiting for that. I've been getting monitors, and the refresh rates have been going up, getting better, and the resolution's been getting better. And I've been like, I want a 1440p, like 120 hertz, 40 inches at least.
Yeah. So I'm telling you right now, and the cost of these is exorbitant, but it's also about the same cost as if you got 2 nice monitors and put them side by side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask, but you brought it up, so you tell us everything. I want to know how much it costs. I want to know how much
I got this
paid.
used from my friend. So this is a 4K monitor. It's one of the Asus ROG monitors. And I don't remember the exact, I'll look it up. But like, I got it from my buddy. I paid him like, he was just like, whatever, just you can have it for like a few $100. But it's like, right now I'm seeing one on the Amazon. It's like a new computer cost. It's like $1,400.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It rules. You will never go back. You will never go back.
Can I tell you something also? Side note, I want to throw this out. I feel like, I don't know if you would fuck with this, but for around that same cost, there's a TV out there that's on a stand.
Oh,
that's a plug-in rechargeable, and it
the
rotates.
LG?
It,
Bro,
yeah,
the
and it
LG TV?
rotates vertically.
Did you
and
see
it's
the one
touch
that's in the-
screen,
Yo, bro,
and
but
I
did you-
want a TikTok TV that I could bring around the house. Really bad. Like, I want
Bro.
that.
You seen
Put it on a
that? But you
Roomba.
saw that. But you saw that the newest one. It's in a suitcase, right?
Oh yeah,
That's the one
Yeah,
I want.
saw
That's
that.
the one I was
Stand,
looking
the
at.
Stand By Me suitcase TV.
it's
I was-
Death
for a-
I was
Stranding.
like, I just want a
For
TV in a
$1,000
suitcase. I don't wanna
bucks?
walk around like,
like
that.
pulling the gun out in Death Stranding. Like
Yeah.
a TV, though.
Yeah, and then you guys.
I was ready to drop 1,000. I'm like, that's not even
RoboCop.
that bad. I'm like, I get a TV in my suitcase.
Bro,
I'm
let's
ready for
run
that.
these, bro. Let's get all 3 of these. We'll review them on the podcast and be like, yeah, that shit off.
With the 40-inch monitor.
Write them all.
I'm telling you, the 40-inch monitor, like way too close to my face. I lose the mouse. I set the mouse cursor to be bigger, like I'm an elderly person, because I can't see it. It's
It
just
has like a
sea
trail.
of pixels. It has,
It has
a
a
trail. I have to hit control twice, and a little circle will find it on where it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using accessibility hacks in order to even use this. But I'm telling you, you will never go back. I look at computer monitors now. I'm like, puny shit. I can't handle that.
Is that what
Yeah.
we're playing Warzone on? You're doing
Yeah,
that?
dude.
We're playing Warzone?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
You're
dude.
fucking wild. You are in the game.
Dude,
You're like sitting up front seat 40
Bro.
inches like that.
bro, I'm
Yeah.
literally
He's playing it in Braille.
Dude, I'm literally that headshot. The size of the headshot hitbox for me is what you were looking at for a whole body in Counter Strike.
It's
You
like
understand?
your head.
It's like your head is there,
head.
dude. It's like life size, dog. Highly
You
recommend
have
it.
You have-
gun battles
you
where
have
the guy's like this big in your face. Like,
And you
There's
have PTSD from playing, from winning.
Dude, I get the most vivid dreams sometimes, dog, from a result of this monitor. You know, this too. That's like I realized too in like PCs. There's definitely a point because I used to, I build PCs all the time. I built every PC that I've used, and so like you get to a point where you're putting out together the parts, and it's always like at a certain point in my adulthood, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pay money for an actual monitor, because in the past it was always just like, well, I don't want to spend, I'm already spending, what else, what other cheapo thing can I grab to fit for the monitor? But the monitor, that's like your bed, dog. That's like your office chair. You gotta go hard on that component.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
like
The
monitor.
it's the tires on the car.
It's
it's the
so many
tires
things-
on the car,
so
dog.
many things don't matter if this isn't
Pretty
right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's not. It really shouldn't have speakers in it. You don't need those. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were hitting on when you first got together to film that collabo, which was kind of
More guns.
More guns.
More Guns
yeah.
was I didn't really watch YouTube back then, other than when Epic Mealtime started. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll watch YouTube now. And my first other channel I watched was your channel because of that
Oh,
video.
wow.
They showed me the video. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is excellent content. I enjoy this. And
That was-
the only channel I got to.
That was a
other than
that was an
Epic Mealtime.
old bygone era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I-
actually
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm curious about is now what do you watch on YouTube?
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah,
Like
my
now,
favorites.
nowadays.
Like what's in my
Like
feed
police
currently right
police body cam.
now? You know what? It's a lot of like.
Dude, you stumbled upon like my super dark like goblin secret, which is I love combat footage.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
combat footage. Like
You're speaking Donnie's language.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. A
'cause
lot
here's
of
what I'm saying.
Ukraine trench videos.
I
Those
do.
drone
First of
videos
all,
are
everything-
Yeah.
dark right now,
everything
man.
we say, everything we say is part of an interactive art experience where we're just playing actors on a podcast. I just don't
correct.
remember.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that. There have been nights where I've watched far too many drones dropping grenades in holes videos, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is where it's at. And a guy in my chat sent me a link. You could buy a drone strike. You could buy like a grenade.
They'll send
fund
you the
it.
There's
video.
different tiers, and you could put your logo or whatever on it, and they'll send you the video of your logo or whatever you wanted, or tweet or message on like a drone or on
See,
the grenade, and you pay for it and watch it in action.
So like to me, this is the most cyberpunk shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like stuff like this is cyberpunk.
Dystopian as fuck. It's kind of like it's like Running Man.
Yeah.
This is
Like-
like Running Man shit.
Yeah, it's wild because it's like all the stuff that's like you never see this. Is like there's not gonna be a Black Mirror episode about this, but it's like, but this is the real weird shit that's going on
Yeah,
right now.
real
You
Wait
know?
till wait till the Biden 2024 grenades drop.
The I did this stickers, you know? Did you all get the I did this stickers up in Canada?
I don't know if
I
that
don't
is.
know that we did.
Oh, so you got the Freedom Convoy, but not the I did this stickers. For a minute in the United States, you basically every gas station by the gas prices would have a sticker with Joe Biden.
We have that with
our own.
Trudeau. Yeah.
With Trudeau. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's always like insulting you. It's always like, oh, are you happy with the gas prices? You voted for this guy, you fucking idiot.
And I love when they're making that
Like,
post
it says
on
that,
like,
you're like sitting there pumping your gas, reading it, and you're like, you don't know. You don't know anything about me.
No, the problem is like all good discourse right now, it has devolved into schoolyard level fights. And so the point is, it's like there's the counter argument to that is weak. The counter argument is like, well, the price of oil is actually a complex commodity governed by you're like, no. You've lost the argument the moment you start to try and argue that. So that to me is actually one of the things I'm really frustrated about is that like there's people who understand that, and I think it's even people who are like even like a guy like me who like I was an internet troll growing up, right? I'll be in AOL chat rooms just making up shit, fucking with people.
Oh, we were all on Xbox Live, bro. Don't you
dude,
know,
we
were
and so to see a lot of these like tactics, these troll tactics, and then watch like my parents fall for them. I'd be like,
oh,
this
my
is
dad's in it, dude.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, that's bait, that's troll bait, and then it's like, no, it's this. I'm like, dang, like this isn't even advanced level. This is 101 beginner first 2 months of being an internet troll moves to provoke people. And it's like, these moves are still working. Like I'm already,
my dad had hit me up and he was like, I got a Instagram support. Like they're going to my account. Like what did I even post? I didn't even post anything. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Don't
what are you talking about now? Instagram? Like, don't. What are you talking about? Already, you should know. Don't. But like, let's go. What Instagram support? He's like, on Instagram. They messaged me, and I'm like, no, they didn't. For what? Like, like, something I posted. I'm like, click the account.
Yeah.
And then he clicks it, and it's quiet. And he's like, and I'm like, it's not Instagram support, is it? He's like, no, it is, but they spelled support with 3 P's. And I'm like, you called me. Did you click something? Did you click something?
For sure. Did you enter any information?
Yeah, it's like a dog. Like, you open your mouth. Open your mouth. What'd you eat?
I assume my parents are completely compromised. Like,
do you know? So I talk about this where it's like, you know how like early, like they talk about snake patterns and they're like early man, like, oh yeah, this type of pattern would tell other animals, danger, look out, poison, right? It's like deep level like reactions.
Yeah,
to
like
shapes.
A diamondback.
Diamondback. Ooh, dangerous.
Yeah, about poison tree frog.
We have that, but for the internet. Like you go on the fake website, you're just like, wrong. This is a fake website.
Yeah,
I just feel it. I can tell.
Yeah.
How can you tell? It's like the combination of the font.
Yeah, you're like, why is everything
Let me
underlined?
Ads are a little too many ads. Just feels fake.
You're right. I got to come clean with something though. Like, first of all, I don't need to get into it too much because we spoke about it on the podcast before, but just to catch you up real fast, I got hacked about a year ago.
So I
ended up getting my Facebook page back.
Yeah.
But I ended up hiring the guy that was hacking it because he showed me this like whole bonuses thing on Facebook where you can get like just thousands of dollars per month for posting. And so I worked out a deal with this guy who allegedly says he's from Pakistan and he's like 21 years old and he posts on my Facebook, and that's one thing. So but I got hacked. That's the long and short of that.
Yeah,
but I have been hacked. Not long ago, probably 2 days ago, I was playing Counter-Strike 2 and I'm playing it and I'm playing competitive. And one of my good friends who I've been friends with for like 20 years messages me. I'm talking about Interact Superstar Method. He messages me like, dude, my buddy is in a tournament. Can you vote for him, please?
Oh.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, how you been? He's like, I've been good. I'm just messaging you because the voting's almost done soon. Now, I would have had what you were talking about. I would have been aware that this was a scam when I went on the website and like attached my Steam to it.
Yeah.
I would have known it was a scam, but I was playing Counter-Strike competitive.
Oh,
so like 90% of my brain is literally in my wrist.
Yeah,
aiming.
dog. Same thing happened to me. Almost where it was the same thing where I was like, the reason I brought it up is like that sixth sense is disappearing. I was on a website and I was like, okay, and I was like, my finger hovered. I was like, something deep.
Is that what's going on?
It almost got me.
I was cool with the world changing because I was like, I'll adapt.
I'll surf with it, baby.
I didn't think
No.
we get worse.
We're
things
gonna
that
get
we didn't
worked.
fuck up on.
But you think this is like because of our age, like the younger kids, they don't
I
fall
think
for this. Like we're becoming
I
the
think-
boomers now in this new age.
I think that if we look at boomers and we say Facebook is like where boomers will go and die, right? Like there's no right, like Facebook is their end point, right? They're not going anywhere after
They're not
Facebook.
on SoundCloud.
They're not on SoundCloud. They're on Facebook, and they will be there until all of them die. Like that, I think to me that's a fact, right?
Yeah,
We have
I
that
agree.
too. Millennials will be on Twitter and Reddit until we die. Because there's right, like I talk to my friends, and like, yeah, some of us are kind of like playing around in TikTok and stuff like that.
You.
But like, yeah, I love
We'll
it.
be on
I really think it's
TikTok.
interesting. Yeah,
We're
Yeah,
leaving
we're on
people
TikTok.
behind, bro.
but I'm saying, look, but talk to your
Donnie's getting left behind.
But I'm saying,
bro.
talk to your other.
I
talk to your
moderate a
non-Twitter friends.
Reddit with 14,000 members. I'll have
Hey,
you
Freddie,
know.
listen
Yeah.
to this. He has no social media, and I like met these girls with him once, and he was like, no, so, and they were like, that's a red flag, and he was like, well, no, I'm a moderator for a subreddit, and they were like, okay, and they're like,
It's not getting better. It's not getting not
your only
sweetening the
social
deal.
media is your
We talk about females and like
Yeah. Well, we call them femoids, but yeah.
but Reddit's going to be ours because I think the internet's going to move to like app-based stuff. Like Discord is like becoming the new internet, right? Like rather than it's like back again to the Usenet and IRC days again, where it's like smaller communities.
Yeah.
I don't need to send a message to everybody, but like, yeah, there's a couple hundred people here. I'll shoot the shit for a little bit, and that's fine, But we're not going to be a part of that. We're on Twitter and Reddit. That's us. For the most part. I'm talking about like
I'm on a couple of forums, if you could believe that.
I think
love
we're
that.
pretty,
I
I think
love
we're
that
pretty
shit.
interesting. I'm gonna toot the horn of our generation here a little bit, like the 1975 to 1995 around.
Yeah.
These are just people that were there for the before and the after in many
Yeah.
respects.
Yeah.
And so I think it's an interesting type person. I don't think like we're the best out here, but like the Zoomers are a touch. They're the funniest. I actually think
They're
the
way
funniest.
funnier.
Yeah, and I thought
fucking
we were so funny, but they're so funny. But they're a little crazy. There's some things that are a little off.
Okay,
They were-
a little
they were
bit nuts.
born on Minecraft. Like they were born.
Yeah.
Like we played outside, bro. And I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
get too boomer about it because, like, literally on the other hand, like boomers just way more racist than we ever were. They're like,
I feel like
We're like
I feel like
a
I was
good
more
balance.
outside. I feel like I was definitely more outside because even the stuff you guys talk about, like back in the day, like I wasn't doing any of that. I was the guy receiving the CD from my friend. who was doing
Yeah.
All that all that stuff.
We were the indoor.
I was like outside.
Yeah.
My parents didn't even have a computer like that was
Yeah.
even like functionable for a long time, other than like ICQ.
No, I did. No, I
That's
did.
literally.
I
Is that why
really-
your vocabulary has words like functionable?
No, but I did have.
Listen.
I did do both. Like I did a split class build, and I did like I played football for like 10 years, but I did also have like burn CD perks for other people.
Yo.
Like I did, like I
Mixtape,
did.
the
do
mix-
those
sports.
guys were big.
I did do
That's a big move.
sports, but like I was like a mediary between someone
Dog.
like Donnie who's blazing up at lunchtime and this
you-
other guy who's completely mentally challenged. Why am I bringing them together? Dragon Ball Z talk.
Yeah.
Like there's like moves that had to be made.
No,
and I
you're like-
I had to bring people together, the nucleus style.
Yeah.
You're like
I'm-
Blade. You walk both worlds, Doc.
I'm like Blade. I definitely was rocking that jacket potentially while all this is going down.
The
in high
duster.
school. The leather duster.
When's the last time you landed in a good Blade pose? It feels great, let me tell you.
Oh, I have not done that.
Yeah. Harley's
like
not good at
bend that
landing.
way.
Yeah.
I don't bend that
He's not built to land.
way. Can you all like do a squat full ass to the ground, like sitting
Oh yeah.
sitting down,
Yeah.
just full?
Yeah, no problem. But
You
that's
could
an
do-
Asian
do
thing.
that.
That's an Asian thing. We have
That's
looser.
why I was asking.
Yeah.
You said
We
it
have
though.
looser-
You said it. You said it. You
But
said it. But that's
when
why
you
I
say
was-
when you say ass to the ground, do you mean ass on the ground at the same time as
no,
your
like
feet?
your heels are on the ground
Touching.
and your
Yeah.
feet are on the ground and you're fully sitting.
That's
yeah,
a
and you're like,
baseline.
ass is on your heels.
I
kind
can
of.
do that, but Freddie's 100% right because like I grew up and that's the number one pose. You'd see people smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
fully squatted,
Slavic.
fully squatted
The
cigarette. all
Slav
the time.
squat.
Like
Yeah.
I got like a minute. I don't got like a 20-minute chill. like that.
Yeah. I see.
no,
You
but
sometimes see
there
these old Asian guys with like wearing just like a tank top, and they got a little pot belly and like weird shorts, and they're sitting there and they're smoking for an hour. You come back, they're still there. You're like, damn, this guy parties.
They always smoke that cigarette like perfectly, like you.
Oh, yeah.
smoke it, like huge hole. You know what I mean?
ash
There's
on
no
it.
air coming in. It's just straight. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a straight hit
Dude,
of the smoke.
Pure,
you
just
know?
pure inhales, dude. They're like they're
Yeah,
they're
perfect.
ducting their lips to allow for maximum
Yeah.
airflow, dude.
Dude, when I was in I don't know what to call it, trade school,
Yeah.
I had this Cambodian professor who was so like he'd be asking us questions and like he'd be like, what's this? And like we'd answer and he'd be like, all right, smoke time. And like he would literally just stop the class. He would literally just be like, and I'm not even gonna try to do the accent, but the way he said it was so like funny that like we love this fucking guy. And he was like, smoke time. We were like, all right, man, let's do it. Yeah.
No, I had very little exposure
Mm.
to any Asians in my life. There was no, like, I played football with a ton of Haitians. I went to school with
Interesting.
like a lot of Jewish people. And even though my school had quite a mix of people, there was just a lot of Jews that I'd associate with more
Yeah.
often than not. And like just not a lot of Asians. Then I went to visit Lynch in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
And
yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on here,
Yeah.
bro?
Yeah. My high
Like,
school
what
was
is going
70%
on
Asian.
here?
Yeah. You're like, is there a tour bus in?
And then I got
No,
I got-
legitimately-
and that, but it was like
legitimately,
right
it's-
into it. Like I landed in Vancouver and I got a bolo bao, like right away, like a pineapple bun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, this is not good because it was different. But
Mm.
4 days later, I was like, can I get that pineapple bun again? Like I thought about it. I thought about it. Like in the
Dog,
moment, I
it
was like, this
wormed its
is
way
not
in.
better than a donut. Like, you know,
No,
I'm
the
like,
pineapple-
I got
pineapple
beef
bun,
with
I
it.
stand by it. I stand by that.
Yeah.
pineapple
Yeah,
bun.
no,
It's delicious.
It
Oh
could
no,
be
I went
good.
after Toronto. Like I was posting up in all the Asian malls because I buy toys. This is where they are.
Oh my god.
So I'm buying toys. So I'm in these malls, and I started buying. It was a like a bao, but it was just it had a hot dog in it, like a hot dog that's like it
It's
was
like a
cooked,
it's like
but
a
it's
pig
not-
in a bow.
It's been chilling. No, it's been chilling. It was a hot dog that was like cooked, like a steamed hot dog, and it was put in this bun, and now it's chilling. It doesn't look cooked, and it's not going to be cooked. You eat it like you could eat it just like that. But when I got on that level, I was like, yo, I move different now, bro. I went from like no Asians to sucking down these sausages.
full down. the
Yeah,
Asian
like
cookies
sucking down these
style.
sausages in the Asian mall. Like, where my toys at?
Yeah.
You're,
Where my
you're,
toys?
you're post up the Ranch 99 just trying different kinds of gelatin, dude. Straight
Yeah,
up,
I'm a
dude.
big mental,
You're
I'm a big
eating-
mental guy with like a fucking tackle box and a sausage. I'm like, where are my toys?
You're like, how much for the pangolin marrow?
You know, the first time I ever ate bone marrow was with Freddie at Animal.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
First time I ever had bone marrow. Because back then I never ate at restaurants. I didn't live in LA. My family didn't go to steakhouses or anything. So when I first went to a steakhouse with my agent, it was like, I see the price and he's paying for it, but it's like $34 for the cheapest steak and you don't get anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get
yeah,
this. So
yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking insane lifestyle, dude. $35 for a steak, $11.99 for mashed potatoes, and like, yeah, a couple people share it, but like to just put, not even, it was probably like $19.99, and this is like 14 years ago, putting it together, this meal, and me calculating how much it cost per person, like it's like fucking over $100 per person.
Yeah.
Never had been in like restaurants like that or anything like that. And going to Animal, like I couldn't navigate a menu like that. I'm like looking for pizza or a bacon cheeseburger. Like I wasn't like,
you never dated a rich girl in high
I'm gonna
school.
suck the
Just gonna
sides of
suckle
the
the-
bone on bread.
It still
I'm-
creeps me out every time I do it.
I'm not big into bone.
Yeah,
bone
me
marrow,
neither.
so,
I love it. It's
I
pretty-
never like you put
love
on
it.
toast or something like
Yeah, on a
that. Like, how-
baguette,
how'd you
a
consume it?
crispy baguette.
Exactly.
You know what you said there. Like, you just didn't date a rich girl in high school or something because like that's how I had to learn.
No, Lynch, I wasn't
went to a
hot in
restaurant.
high school, bro. I didn't get the
Yeah,
rich
what do you-
girl.
But you were hilarious though.
Yeah,
so
but I didn't know how to
that's enough.
utilize it like that. I
That's
utilized
a powerful superpower, but it's not. You gotta.
I
You
don't think
used
it works
for
in-
the
have to
boys,
deploy
though.
it right. You have to deploy it right.
Exactly.
Like it's a fucking weapon that works, but most of the time, you and me both, we were just fucking cracking up our boys.
I'd
you know
spray
what I mean?
the room. I'd like spray the room, and heat-seeking bullets hit up all my homies. No one else. And it was directed at everyone. They got like kind of weirded out when I'm doing a great bit at them for them, but like it's not reading like that. It's just off.
Yeah,
It's all off.
it's another skill. That's an unlock that you gotta spend a lot of XP to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like, and this
Dude.
era is like, what's funny at this time is like Freddie got fingered. Did you
dude.
fuck with Tom Green back in high school?
Bro, Freddie Got Fingered changed my nickname from Freddy Krueger, which was like a pretty good one because it's like, the main villain of a fucking horror
That's such
franchise.
a 1997
Pretty good.
kid to be like
Yeah,
Freddy
yeah.
Krueger.
Whatever, Freddy
Exactly.
Krueger. Then Freddie Got
only other-
Fingered. It's over. It's over. So yeah, but Tom Green and like MTV and like all that sort of like weird humor. Yeah,
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Yeah,
Banger quote.
Yeah.
I rewatched it recently.
Did
I
you?
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
How'd it hold up?
I did.
How'd it hold up?
I enjoyed it. I don't know.
Must have
It's
been
hard
a
to
watched it a
watch
couple
it.
years
It's like
ago and I
nostalgic
liked
on
it.
some level. You know,
Yeah, but you're also,
there is.
if you watch it with that, like, how did this get made like the whole time? You're like,
Yeah.
he's married to Drew Barrymore here. Like, everyone, they really,
Who
did
funded
it.
this?
It
Like,
was just, the whole universe was begging for YouTube to exist,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
everyone could just do the most. And now that everyone can do the most, people are doing the most and they're getting shot in the tummy, and everyone's like, good. Like,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
the bit anymore. Stop.
They're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It has,
so
gone,
wild.
it has gone to obnoxious levels.
That's so
for
wild to
sure.
me that someone can just get shot and then everyone's responses to like, yeah, what the fuck
was
was this
pretty
guy
crazy.
doing?
I agree. What was he doing? But I'm like, yeah, but look at that guy. And
Oh,
you
of
know,
course.
Did you see that? Did you see that guy's picture?
No.
If you look at his
Yes.
picture, he was a guy that he has the face of like a poison tree frog human form. Like
I still kind of get it though. Like if you're out here doing your pranks, but not telling people you're doing your pranks and just harassing people,
exactly. It's
like
like,
expect some smart.
I don't.
stuff that
I
you're gonna
don't
get.
support.
Like if a guy came up to me and blew in my ear with one, the guy was like
Yeah,
just blowing people's
and
ears.
here
and
on
get,
the
like 100
stage,
million
I
views.
put on the stage. If
I'm-
you click that and click the link, you'll see the guy
Okay,
that pulled out the gun. I would never prank that guy.
I would not prank
never
this
prank
man.
that guy.
Oh, I'm
You
staying.
like they misread the situation. That's
that's
a
a
guy.
hard misread. That's like
That's a
no.
predator. That's like fucking. He's got quills on his back.
He
got
has
blood made
1,000
of
yard.
poison.
He's got 1,000-yard stare, and this is just the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office photo, dude.
Yeah,
Ooh. Yep, I'm with you on
he
this.
looks like
He's
John
got some, like-
Connor, Days of Future Past.
Yo, this guy was
so-
gonna lead the human revolution after the robots take over, and now he got pranked by a YouTuber, and the timeline got fucked
he looks
up.
like Jedediah Connor.
He does. Yeah, he's got that vibe. But yeah, they misread the scene. They rolled up on that guy, and I think it was a pranks. The way I see this with pranks is here's Harley's rules for pranks. If
Hold on, this
anyone
is a
in
new
the prank-
segment. Roll the fucking theme music.
Yeah.
If you prank anyone, like I saw one, it was a group of kids with a basketball, and people were walking by and they were tossing you the basketball and they wanted you to shoot at the net. And they would toss it to people, and some people would catch it and throw it, and some people would fumble it.
Yeah,
some
I've seen that
people
with a
would
soccer ball.
And I'm thinking, like, if you want to toss the ball at someone like that in the place where they have to catch it, you have engaged them into your prank, into your video. Instantly now, $50. No matter what, $50
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this transgression and to be part
Yeah.
of your content. This is $50.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm with
'cause
you on this.
This ball, you guys were laughing and talking and spitting and touching your dicks and rubbing it and passing it around. It's on the ground. I don't want to touch this ball. You don't know where I'm going.
What kind of basketball
I'm
game?
going to dinner. You don't know what I'm doing. You toss me the ball. Now I'm at $50 instantly. And then if you shoot the ball, you get it in. Like what is it? It was just like one of those feel good vibe things.
Yeah,
It's like,
sure, fine.
It wasn't enough of a moment, because I'm also like, the second thing is it's got to be good.
Yeah,
It's got to be worth it. It's got to be something good. And it can't be a bad thing, obviously, or a harmful thing or a gross thing or something that damages someone. And if they're going to be in the video, honestly, I'd say it's $100. If you're going to make the final
I'm
cut
with you.
there,
I'm with you.
it's
I'm with you.
It's
on this.
$100
I'm with you on
because
this.
to be in your prank video, no one ever, and even if someone reacts badly, you're instantly wrong because no one said they wanted to be in your video.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be talking to you in the video or anything like that.
But now everyone's in videos based on TikTok because it's just like all real life encounters.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I don't
all the
buy it though.
gyms
By
let
the way,
videos.
a lot.
I don't buy into all of them either. There's a lot of like I try and question everything.
Yeah.
After the prank era, you know. But so I mean,
Also, oh no, go ahead.
are you guys taken by like? Do you like the kind of where they give money? Like, because there are pranks where it's not even pranks where it's like they end up giving them money.
Oh, it's like, hey, here's $100 if you can answer these 5 trivia questions.
Or even a
there's
small
one guy-
one where they're just like, hey, which shampoo should I take? And they're like, what? And he's like, which shampoo? And they're like, I don't know that one. He's like, okay, here's $500. And they're like, what the fuck?
No, I saw a guy. He would ask people for a favor, and if they did it for him, he's like, "Oh, you're such a good person," and like cue the music, and he like hands over like I don't know $500 and tickets to a concert or something, you know, like to make it's like the perfect story you could possibly tell,
Wait.
and it's a nice gesture, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a nice thing." There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's go even a step further on that. And I want to know what Freddie thinks
Sure.
about this. And people were talking about it. You just made me think about it. What about Mr. Beast videos where he's like, you get $500,000 if you stay in this room, and it looks like an Aperture Laboratories room, and it's like you stay in here for 30 days, you can't leave, you get 500,000. And this other guy, he's getting paid $10,000 a day to stay in this supermarket, and Mr. Beast like blacked out all the windows, and like it's these little exercises like that prison. Remember that prison test where they
yeah.
So
I
he's
actually
doing
don't-
shit like that. So yeah.
Weirdly enough, I have less of an issue with that kind of stuff because to me, it's like if everyone's above board, right? If everyone knows what they're getting into, and like, and you're signing it, you know what you're getting into, yeah, whatever. I don't care what consenting adults do. It reminds me though, what's interesting is
What
that
if they're killing themselves?
See, we haven't had that yet, but I think we'll get there. But here's the thing: I think we'll get there. That's the thing that's wild.
And
But,
everyone will be
there was a
like,
Japanese
good.
game show. There was a Japanese game show years ago. It was
Bonsai?
let me just look it up really quick. But it was a guy who was just stuck in an apartment, and he could only send in
watch this.
mail order, like from a magazine stuff, back of magazine, send in mail order stuff to win sweepstakes. That was the only thing he was allowed to do. So it was like that, right? It was
You guys understanding that? And people at home, he was in an apartment, trapped in like literally a studio apartment with a TV in the corner and nothing. He had to mail in magazines to get things to live. Like he had to mail in stuff to get like, and one time like he got like a bag of rice and was
But he didn't have a rice cooker.
He was hyped and
Yeah.
then realized he had no means to cook this rice.
Yeah.
He had to mail in for things. It was really fucking crazy. And I think that the producers got chippy. Yeah, sorry, continue.
But then like by the end of, did you ever see the end of the first season where it's like, all right, you've done it, you've lasted, and they bring him in. They're going to do a big like reunion studio audience tour, and they bring him into this room, and they're like, "Does the audience there?" And then it turns out it's another room he has to get out of. It's like they fucking trapped him into another one, and he's like so annoyed by. But he became a small, like he's naked, and they put a little eggplant graphic
emoji.
over his dick. And that was his nickname. It was the Japanese for eggplant, became his like nickname. And like, if I'm remembering correctly, so it's like, to me, the Mr. Beast stuff is like that. It's like,
And
it's crazy, but people know what they're doing.
I don't think that Mr. Beast is the same thing as a prank thing because people are they're
No.
getting into it.
But people are.
But
people still
also
write articles
on our side
about
note,
it.
Mr. Beast does this shit too.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he doesn't spend 7 days in the middle of the ocean, but he does. Like he's like a pretty crazy guy. Like he's still leading by example. Like he's out here also
Yeah.
living in the supermarket.
I mean, Mr. Beast is the equivalent of Willy Wonka, right? I mean, he is the Willy Wonka of our time period. The idea of you could get a golden ticket and make fabulous amounts of wealth, you know, from some bizarre, you know, it's more cyberpunk than that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like. We've talked about this. I've seen a million Mr. Beast thumbnails, and for whatever reason, I can't bring myself to watch the video.
To me,
Although
what
I should.
I'm interested in is like, I'm interested in, does he?
I like hearing him talk. About
Yeah,
his,
what
himself,
I'm interested
you
in
know?
is like, is there a trajectory his work is on, right? Does he look at his stuff and be like, I need to get the numbers keep getting bigger, the need of like the pranks or whatever it is, the gimmicks need to get bigger, more elaborate. Like, is that just a line?
They like go into his room and they're like, Jimmy, have you thought up a new video yet? And he's like, I have. This week will cure the blind.
I mean, it's
They're like,
Yeah.
what? He's like, we will cure blindness. Prepare the
It is-
Teslas.
But I mean, like he is. It's crazy what level he's on because like they just announced that he's his Feastables is now like an NBA patch sponsor.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't imagine like it now.
Would you say Feastables? Is that what you just said?
Yeah,
Pause,
that's what
dude.
it is.
Boss.
We don't
Give
know
that
if
a
it's
Google.
like that, dude.
Oh, well, listen, the NBA approves it. So I thought it was just interesting to be partnering with like a social media brand
Yeah.
or like someone like that. I wonder what they're going to do together. Like he's going to do something crazy with the basketball team. There
You
has
said
to be
Mr.
some
Beast the
video
brand?
coming.
Like,
That brand and him,
Yeah.
like obviously he's tied to that brand.
Yeah.
You know, it's his chocolate that he sells that's like doing crazy numbers, unlike his burger business, which seems is in lawsuits now. But the fact that he got a patch on an NBA team and it feels like an advantage for the NBA team because now they're working together.
Right. They're like relatable.
He's paying
to
a lot
this
of
new
money,
audience.
but they get access to him and his sort of distribution. And they're a small market team. And I'm like, I wonder how he.
whatever, bro. I still don't give a fuck about either. So I guess it wasn't that show.
It might convince me to watch the video.
Did you ever see these videos, these Darman videos? Do you know what these are?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, dude.
You know Darman.
So why is that so familiar?
Darman is this guy.
best.
He cranks out these videos that are all very, very low budget
Learning lessons.
moral parables, and they're all every title is like
Totally.
these kids made fun of this autistic kid, and they live, and what happens next you won't believe, and it's always
And
like
it's always the dumbest, fakest, most forced. Like,
yeah, it's like this person broke up with his girlfriend because he called her because she was only in it for the money. Then it turns
It's like, don't judge a book by a cover.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
You
Now
know,
here's
like
the thing.
a million
But
of
here's
those.
the thing:
yeah.
they have millions of views, and to me, it's like
So
the
many.
narrative level of what's happening in these videos, which is like clear villain, clear feel good story, even though it's presented so like over the top and just obvious.
Yeah.
To me, like sometimes I look at some
Big
of these
views.
like these prank videos where it's like give $100 to this person and oh look I bought all the hot dogs today from this street cart seller, and those ones always crack me up because it's always like have you ever sold this many hot dogs? And they're like no. It's like what are you gonna do? It's like well I'm probably go home because my stock is done. It's like all right we did something good. It's like he's just got. Wait, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that like the farming for that kind of emotional payoff, right? It's the same thing. Like Darman's doing the exact same thing.
yeah,
it's
but
dressed
Mr.
up
Beast
different.
is like, I'm gonna cure blind people. I'm gonna
mean,
plant 20 million trees. Me and Darman are not the same, bro. You're scripting shit. I'm in the middle of the ocean for 7 fucking days thinking about the next miracle I'm about to perform on views alone.
Yeah.
On
But that's
views.
what.
I
But
mean,
to me, that's what it
platform.
is, though. Because at the end of the day, that's the feeling, right? That's just the feeling that you're looking for. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, it feels good that someone could get something good happen to them, and I want to watch.
Well,
that.
it's the Darman stuff is. I always wonder like about his audience because he was getting like I remember he bought like
bro.
I saw he bought a house. And I was
Facebook.
like he bought like a crazy house.
Thought
I'm like,
his
that's
views are
perfect.
good on YouTube, on Facebook. They're
Perfect
crazy.
Facebook. That's
Facebook,
perfect
yeah.
Facebook content, like to a T. I can see my parents
Because if
all-
you
all
post
of
it
our
up on
parents
Facebook,
could get
if
down.
you're chilling
with a nice
on
lesson.
Facebook, you're like
Yeah.
stupid.
Well,
You're
on
like
YouTube,
a stupid person.
everyone
If you're on
of his-
Facebook every day, like Facebook status update. First
What's
of all,
up today?
and then going on another status update and be like, "Hey, Carol, why don't you mind your own business?" Like, if you're doing that, for sure you're dumb.
You're gonna love it when this person talks to this person they thought was poor at an art gallery, but guess what?
Yeah,
They-
yeah, they thought-
Because
they
you're
were
like,
wrong.
reminds me of
Yeah.
this bitch I knew from this time in my life at one point.
Yeah,
This
it
dumb
like
little
speaks
thing.
to all their
It's like,
like
the elevator version of the Lamborghini prank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just doing it in a nicer way. But
yeah.
Darman is definitely one of those things like guilty pleasure. Like I'd watch the videos like this is fucking
the like the
insane.
gold digger prank.
Well, he got in a lot of trouble because he had like some issues with the actors he was hiring.
He was
I
paying
guess,
them like so little to just crank out.
So
And to
little.
be fair, these are not videos that are like they do not, in my professional opinion, do not appear to be a. They are not the kinds of videos that necessarily look like multi-day shoots. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, not only
These are-
that, like, yo, I get
Definitely
it,
not,
but
no.
like husband number 2, you're not muscles glasses, bro. Like, it's not, come on, you know?
it was funny because one of the people on our podcast, she's like, I would do anything to be in one of these videos. I don't care what he's paying me. I want to be on these videos. I was like, I would love to have a Darman video and pass it along to everybody because like that if you were in a Darman video and you pass that along to your like parents, they'd be like, wow, great.
You like get recognized at the grocery store, people looking at you different.
We had
like,
we had a
longer.
guy once. I worked with a guy who was on a soap opera as like the young hot stud in this soap opera, and he was on there for many seasons. And I'm like, do you ever get recognized? He's like, yeah, it's all older women, and they are hot and bothered. Like that's like, I guess, a weird, right? Like you, like Harley, you must have the thing where you look, you're like, I'm in an environment. You have that sixth sense now, where you're like, I'm in an environment where it's like likely someone might know who I am, right? So you're in a nerdier spot.
WWE pay-per-view taping.
Yeah,
Like shit's
right.
popping off at the WWE pay-per-view taping.
I bet you, if you were a soap opera star, you'd be like, you show up to a Whole Foods, or something,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
someone or something.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
if I go to like like this, like a concert where the band is just like guitars, people will know. I also on site can see someone.
That's
Let's
the
say
thing.
they have a t-shirt on.
I had a an ex-girlfriend years ago who was like, she was astounded because she was like, what's weird is that like everybody, what she observed is she's like, I can tell as well now, and she's like, because everybody acts the same way, even though, but they don't think they are, because it's like for them it's like, you know, maybe a relatively rare occurrence. But she was like, she would like when we would go out, she'd be like, yeah, she'd just be like, oh, those people, you just tell. I'm like, I'm not even.
I'm also like,
I'm
and
above
that,
it all
and that,
now, baby.
I'm always be cool. Like, don't scare them. I want them to. They're allowed to come. They're allowed to come.
Gently, like a fawn in the
Oh,
forest.
it was always when I was single back in the day, like going on these Tinder dates and meeting someone for the first time, and we're somewhere, and I'm like talking to this girl. We're 20 minutes into it, and I see someone doing it. I'm like, God, I hope this person comes and asks for a picture right now. And I'm like, what, that? Oh. Like, well, you know, I told you about the show. Some people like it. Yeah, some people do.
I have a couple of videos.
This is like 2015. It's popping off. Nowadays, someone pull
now
up.
they come up. Now it's all past tense.
Yeah,
no, I
exactly.
used to love
Exactly.
your shit.
That is
And
exactly
you know what happened?
it, yeah.
I've been with my mom many times, and they'll be like, "Yo, I used to love you." And my mom's like, "But not now." And I'm like, "Heather."
Yes.
She's like, "Why don't you tell your friends?"
Yeah.
There have
yeah.
been some funny ones though, where it's like you hadn't stopped making videos, and people would come up to you and be like, "So what are you doing now?" And it's like, well,
Yeah.
obviously you're not
They're
really
like, "Why
checking.
don't you upload anymore?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I uploaded every Tuesday for the last 7 months."
Yeah, literally.
No, but
I've
that's
seen
just
that.
but see, to me that's just the nature. That's that you come and go, you know, and that's just the way.
Well,
that's just the,
but some people
Karma
haven't
chameleon.
come and gone though. Like from the era that you guys are from. Like I feel like there's still a few out there that
There's
are
an
just
ebb and
popping
flow. I
out.
feel
Yeah.
like even
I would
for
say-
Uzi's out
the
there.
most popping.
I mean, I guess Philly D is kind of like cheating the system because he talks about news.
I
No,
would
but
say-
he's had
It's like all current
ebb and
events.
flow as well.
yeah, and I would say
Well, Red and
at
Link,
least for me,
mythical.
yeah, but here's where it is. Rhett and Link, and I think we kind of ended up in the same place too. Rhett and Link found a dedicated core niche that's over in the
Yeah.
side somewhere, right? Because they're doing essentially a morning show, right? They're essentially doing like
Yep.
a FM radio or like a Good Morning America style type of thing. It's like a daily, you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
and they have their group, and I think that's what we're gonna. To me, when I look around, I'm like, that's what it is. Where it's now just gonna be really specific niches all over the place, right? Because like
Yeah.
we have
There's
like
too much content.
there's too much stuff, and there's gonna be people,
Too
you know,
much.
because like we just did a live tour for our Dungeons and Dragons show. We went up and down the West Coast, and we did really well. And it was like, wow, we're filling up these places and stuff. But like in every one of those places, we come out and talk to the people afterwards. You just see people driving by, be like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, you don't know, because it's a niche. It's a dungeon. It's podcasts, and then Dungeons and Dragons podcast as a niche of that, like a subset of a subset.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like, to me, that's gonna be everything, right? It's like it's equivalent of being like a really famous band in Japan. You know?
It is crazy though. I saw, like you said, you recently finished like a sort of feature film.
Yeah.
And you guys funded it through your podcast, and I was like, what? Like I'm not like I don't follow your specific podcast
Totally
or like
cool.
D&D type podcast. It's like not my
Yeah,
niche
it's
for
like,
me.
yeah, if it's not your
But
thing, that's not
I was like, wow, that's really crazy that the podcast can help you fund like what you want to do also. I was
Yeah,
like, that's wild.
It's wild. It's a weird time, and I think that like that's what I see more and more. It's just like it's like stuff where it's like, oh, this person's huge on TikTok, you know?
Yeah,
It's like, okay, cool, all right,
Yeah.
and then it's like, but
So I'm like, do you know this person? They're like, you work in YouTube, you know this? I'm like,
No.
there used to be
It used to be 20.
A handful of channels. Yeah, now you could like know all the million subscriber channels. Now it's like a 10 million subscriber channel could pop. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Harley knows.
No,
Our
see, I-
fans of the world, though.
I go to these places. I'll be in LA and I'll be at a party or something, hanging out, and it's not like I've always been like this, but it's just funny because it used to be like back in the day. I'd go to LA. I saw Adam Sandler, and I was like, whoa! And I'd like practically chase him down and be like, "Yo, it's cool for me. This happened." And he's like, "Yeah, man." And I'm like, "Wow, I am that guy." I'm like a fan of people, but it's just funny because nowadays someone can be popping off and be the most. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. You know, if it's Mr. Beast over there and he's having like a moment that I'm like watching, I'm like, oh, that's so cool, Mr. Beast, you know, watching him. That's fun for me. But then I'll be at a place and it's like Joel Haver's there. And I'm like, what? You're here? No. And it's like this guy made silly cartoons. Or it's like a TikTok cringe artist that I know. And I'm like, bro. You are, dude. You fucking got me through pandemic, bro.
But I feel like that's just keeping your eyes out, looking out for like people who like make stuff that you appreciate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I do. Like they're out there.
I have a very deep appreciation for like a set of people where I'm like, yeah, I think you're making real art, and I think you're making, you know, not just content, real art. You know?
I imagine you talking to like someone like who's big in the pottery game.
Oh, there's
you saying that, being like, bro. I can't believe you're here.
Bro, there's a number of people in the.
You got a favorite pottery artist? Like, what you got into pottery?
Like, if you wanna, so like the God king of YouTube of pottery right now is this guy named Florian Gadsby. He's a UK based guy, and he does the right balance of like instructional, soothing, like really good.
You
work.
said his name was Florian Gadsby, and then you said UK based, and in my brain I was like, I know. No, Florian Gadsby.
No, that's like
he comes from Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah, no.
That's
so
like Austrian to
of
me or
YouTube
something
right now. Yeah, Florian.
Yeah,
but he's like, and you look at his videos, you're like, ooh, good lighting, little shallow depth of field. He puts out the ASMR versions of. I'm like, okay, you're playing the game right. You know what you're doing there. He's just recently started like being like, oh, I should probably just like title my video something a little more grabby, and the content is good. And then it's funny because there was a little bit of a tiff within his like fandom. People be like, don't change your names to stuff, and then I'm in there like as if like an old aged rock star being like, do it, get those views, dog. You gotta change
you out there commenting like rocket jump, like you're
yeah. I'll be in there just like, listen, buddy, you've got to play the game to survive, dog. You need to sell your wares. You know, but you do what it takes.
do you like that? I actually do that quite a bit. I get to like fan bases like it's like an audience. I'm part of an audience for this new channel that is getting 40,000 views or something per video, but they're getting exponentially better. And I'm there with like the Epic Mealtime account, like aging rockstar, like, I see you, kid.
Good job. These moves, you're making the right choice. Yeah. I feel that way. But if you want to find, Florian Gadsby on YouTube is like the God King. But then like as far as like you want to go one cut deep, because my YouTube side's gotten so crazy because like now I've gone through every video that's like the high end guys. It's not like a huge like subgenre. So now like my recommendations are now like I follow like there's this Korean guy. I don't even know his name because I don't speak Korean, but he has like 200 subscribers, and each of his videos gets like 80 views, and they're not good videos in terms of like the quality and all that stuff, but for like what I'm looking for, which is like techniques and like, oh, why is he doing it this way? Like they are solid gold videos. And
you
like,
gotta hit him with a comment being like, bro, upload, put some English titles too. Trust me.
Yeah, but that's where I'm at now. And then if you want someone who's like crazy good, this guy named Mundo Bang, who is on Instagram, he just does insane stuff. But I'll tell you, the luster of it kind of got a little buffed because then it was like Seth Rogen was like, oh, post a picture of him going to one of his workshops. I'm like, all right. You fucking come, Johnny, come lately. And then to be fair, Seth Rogen's like work is actually.
I have his. A friend of mine got me one of his ashtrays.
Yeah, he doesn't. There's always like I always think about it like this, which is like when someone says they play guitar, I'm always like, well, there's two kinds of people. You either play guitar or you play guitar.
You play guitar or you're a musician.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or you are a musician. And Seth Rogen, it's like you hear about his stuff, and you're like, okay, he either does some pottery or he's like serious, and he is serious, and his
A
stuff,
potter.
you're like, oh, there's skill. There is skill here. He's doing
Do you
things.
play
that it's like,
guitar or do you play guitar?
I play guitar.
Do you play guitar, eh?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Donnie, do you know that Freddie was a Guitar Hero world champion?
I did not. I did not.
Stunned silence.
Yeah, like imagine that as a resume. Guitar
Dude,
Hero world champ
I went up to
and video game high school.
I went up to Edmonton at the Edmonton Mall, which was the the largest
Yeah.
in North America.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a bunch of nightclub owners were like, "Hey, come by and like do a karaoke, like do a like Guitar Hero karaoke night. We'll pay you." I think they paid me like $5,000.
That's sick.
I mean,
That's
Go
good.
to
sounds like
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Yeah.
It's like
And then I got
Yeah.
doner kebab, and I was like, "This is my new late night food."
Were
This
you
is-
like,
Did
were
go on
you
the wa-
killing
did
it
you
at
go
the
on the water
club?
slides at the mall? No, there's water
I
slides
know.
at the mall.
Yeah, the roller
Fuck
coaster.
that mall though, but were you killing it at
There's
the
roller
club?
coasters in the mall. What do you mean? Fuck
Dude,
that mall. They got
Were
roller
you
coasters
killing
too.
it at the
Dude,
club?
Harley, you're gonna love this. So they got me into just be like, it's the world champ, and we're gonna do a Guitar Hero competition. They're gonna give away money and drinks and all this stuff. And so I'm sitting there, and they have this thing, and they got all these TVs hung up, and I'm in the middle of this club, and I'm wirelessed in, and I got the fucking sound system blaring. I'm playing a hard song on Guitar Hero effortlessly as I'm, because you're paying me $5,000, you're getting. About it. You understand that Asian work ethic's working through. I'm not gonna come here and stumble through cult of personality. Do you understand? Like, I'm here to give you a show. You paid for a show. And then as I'm doing this, I'm like sitting there feeling like, I'm like, hell yeah, this is pretty good. I kind of like go by a group of people, and there's this just drunk guy, and he goes like, "Fucking loser," and like,
no.
I hear this, I hear this, and it just cuts through. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of in like Roman times when they held a triumph for the for the generals. They would always have like a slave stand to the side and whisper in his ear, and the whole time they'd be in this parade, and the slave would whisper like, "Remember, you are but a human." And I was like, that was that moment for me. I was like, this guy has delivered to me like the one thing my ego needed to hear in that moment to understand and truly, because I'm like, I don't remember anything else on that trip. I remember the boldness of that guy watching.
You
me
know
do
what
this,
though? I know now. Like he probably the only guy in there that has that game.
Yo, yeah.
So he was hating, and I also wish you can go back in time and play at him, fucking clown him out. Because I was gonna be like, be honest, Freddie, did you get sucked off after this thing? But then now I know that you were like not in a place.
Yeah.
No,
you were
no,
fighting.
You
You were
would've been
fighting
like, what's the
demons.
point?
fighting for my life, dog.
You're fighting demons, exactly.
Dog. I was wrestling with great metaphysical feats. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this was hardcore. Anyway, and then it was just a weird. It was like a very weird period of my time where I was just like, I was getting flown around to do things for like either Rock Band or Guitar Hero. For a while, I was in LA. I was the go-to demo guy in LA. So what they would do is they would book a room, a suite at the Four Seasons. They'd give me a call. They'd be like, "Hey, can you show up tomorrow, 2 p.m., Four Seasons?" I'd roll in, valet my car, go up to the suite, and it would always be some rock star sitting there, and it's them pitching them to be like, "Hey, we got this new game, Rock Band. We need your masters so that we can do it. Here's what the game looks like." And then they'd cue to me, and I'd kind of like dink through some
That's
songs.
crazy.
But
It was such a monkey paw wish, because I could play regular guitar. I love playing guitar. And so I walk in, I'd be like, "Yo, it's Joe Walsh from the," you know what I mean? Like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, heroes of mine. Guys where I'm like, I learned every note.
And then
Oh,
they're like,
fucking-
"Say I didn't do it.
uh,
Say I didn't do it." Like, do the Bartman thing.
I was like,
Yeah.
I learned every note of the solo from Hotel California, bro. And then I'm sitting there and like, how do I meet this guy? It's me playing a fucking plastic guitar. And I'm like, this is a monkey's paw
That's
wish.
so
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's so sick though.
It was
That's so
weird.
funny. You also like you basically live the current Zoomer or whatever next generation's lives, like their dream life. You know how many kids were like, "I want to be a pro video game player," and someone's like, "I want to be a YouTuber," and someone else is like, "I just want to play Dungeons and Dragons." I
Why
just
does
want
he
to play
have that
Dungeons
voice?
and Dragons.
Why does he have that voice? It's only
You
been
know
upward
why.
trajectory as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Did I make you
You're-
play Dungeons and Dragons, Donnie? Were you at my house that one of those times? where
I
made
don't
everyone-
think so, but it's funny because I grew up with my uncles playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was always kind of in awe of it. Similar to
Sounds
why
like
were
a
you
fucking
in awe?
weirdo, bro.
similar to the graphic settings. I was like, that's not for guys like me. That's other people that play that game.
Oh no, for me, I heard about Dungeons and Dragons and the idea in my where I grew up in 1999, like peak of Eminem rapping, that the thought that 8 of my friends would be sitting down and someone would be like, a cool breeze blows across the grass as you all rest. You've just finished a large battle and you each awaken yourselves still hungry for the next. And to just do that in 1999,
That's
we didn't
revolutionary.
have that. I needed
revolutionary.
friends.
There'd
I
be a
needed
lot of
friends
F-
that could do that.
There'd be a lot of F slurs going around if that was pulled in that era.
I remember.
I'm pitching like I'm trying to get people to do other stuff that is still also not cool, quote unquote. Or I'm trying to like I could sell Goku versus Frieza to the
Yeah.
cool kids.
Yeah,
I can't sell Dungeons and Dragons,
hard sell. That
but
one.
Dungeons and Dragons like 7 years ago, I looked at it and I was like, what's the deal with this anyways? And then realizing that every single game I ever played is based off of this essentially that every RPG that all the invisible roles that have always happened that I've been like, I was there and I was like, it was dice the whole time. And we were limited to the console the whole time. Why don't I play Dungeons and Dragons? There was just not anyone in my circle.
Yeah. You need someone in your circle who's like willing to do the work, to put in the effort for it, and to be like flexible on that front. Yeah, I was the same way.
Now it's my nephews. The kids love that shit. My nephew, like, he fucking loves
Dungeons and Dragons. No
Dragons.
kidding.
Yeah, he loves like
No kidding.
He likes all the shit. Like to him, I'm a god because it's like Marvel, Star Wars, anime. He comes up and he'll ask me shit, be like, did you ever watch Bleach? And I'm like, I've seen all of Bleach. And it's like, he'll be like, you know who I saw, this Doctor Doom? And I'm like, you know, Doctor Doom has played out every future possible, and the only one where the earth doesn't end is where he rules. And he's like, what? And I'm like dropping Marvel shit on. And so it's like so next level.
Dude, he goes to school and
same.
he's
I had
like, my uncle brought me to dungeon.
We had one of my nephews it was like Minecraft. I remember he would just like when he was younger, he would just come over and he'd be like, let me show you the channels I'm watching. And then he would just play these Minecraft videos. I'm like, all right, okay. And I'd be like, hey, have you done this? And he's like, what? Like being the elder nerd in those scenarios is such a powerful move because you're not used, because we didn't have that, right? We didn't have like the person who's like played our games. Like I couldn't go up to my uncles and be like, hey, you playing Quake, dog? Like, you know what I mean?
No, what you got instead was like, he had an old comic book.
Yeah.
He had old comic books or something like that. It was different levels of cool.
And then,
when
but
you had a friend whose dad liked computer games.
Holy shit!
Like
I remember this. Did I ever tell you this story?
Computer games and gaming. That's where you got the sick computers.
I remember I had a Mormon friend growing up. His name was Kyle, and he lived like 5 minutes away. And I would bike to his house, and we would play computer games on his MS-DOS machine. So he had all the like PC games. Dad's huge nerd. And I remember one time we were playing this cool tank game, and I got so hyped. I was like fucking 8 years old, so hyped. I was like, let's kick
You're holding your crotch because you have to piss, but you're not going to piss.
Yeah, dude.
Holding it and dancing, like rocking back and forth.
Dude, and I'm like, and I remember saying like, let's go kick their butts. And then this guy paused the game and he turned around and he goes, we don't use that kind of language in this household. And I remember like, oh, okay, sorry.
Oh my god.
What was his ethnicity?
That dude.
They were white Mormons.
Oh, they're Mormons, yeah.
Mormons. They also didn't drink soda. The neighborhood kids would always be like, let's go Dairy Queen, let's get some blizzards and sodas. And he'd be like, sorry guys, I can't.
You know what's so funny is like something like that was a major, like that was like a lot of social capital lost.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I remember going to a friend's house and it was The Simpsons. And he was like, oh, I'm not allowed to watch The Simpsons. And I remember being like, I will never forgive you for this. Also, you don't get to watch it later. I missed The Simpsons tonight.
I'll
never forgive you for this. Have you ever considered lying to your mom and just watching the episode. Have you ever considered
Oh
that?
my god.
And like, you think I want to be out here telling you to lie to your mom? Like, I'm never coming back. How can I be back here, dude?
I'm
gonna get in
corrupting your.
trouble 'cause
I'm
gonna
going
do
to
something
corrupt your.
normal.
Yeah, I'm going to corrupt your entire childhood. I can't be responsible for that. You know what I mean? I got to extract myself from this situation and call my mom.
Yeah.
This sleepover's done.
Yeah.
The
what was
sleepover is
crazy about
finished.
This is, and this happened a few times.
And
in
not because I
elementary school.
pissed this time.
Most of the time it's pissed. This time it's because you won't watch The Simpsons.
No, three different times in elementary school, a new kid came to school and the teacher put him next to my desk and
no.
like introduced
no.
me, and I showed them, like I would show them around.
So
And it
you
was
were the-
three
yeah.
different times. Like
Tell
grade
me,
three, grade four, grade
princess.
6. And I just remember like thinking back on it. I was like, oh, once again, like I must have been like the teacher. If you don't know, is if this kid's either like playing soccer
Oh,
at lunchtime, or is this kid like lying down in his jacket, looking through the sleeve, being like, I'm a robot elephant. Like Harley's gonna be both of those.
Harley can
He'll
handle
be
either
both
of
of
these
these. So
scenarios.
I was always like the Sherpa
the
for these,
debutante, dude.
and dude, I got like, and I always like, I hung around them. I mean, I still do, but I
Yeah.
was always like, this guy's fucking not the vibe. Like, there's no way Gen B is giving me any attention at lunch. I'm with this guy, but I'm not going to bail on a random broski.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, this is the same because I was a huge computer nerd, but I also like ran track, and I was like, I had a very small high school too, so everyone was like pretty friendly with each other. But I remember in grade school, there was like one kid, I don't remember his name, but there was one kid who in fact suffered from albinoism. So he was just like the kid from Powder, you know what I mean? Like just a white child.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
Didn't have no mind powers.
No mind powers, but
No lightning
all the
control.
appearance hacks. No lightning control. But I remember he was, because people wouldn't hang with him. And I'd be like, I'll hang with this guy. This guy's a bro. And he was a good kid, But I remember being like, I feel like, I did feel like I spanned the friend groups a little bit.
Yeah.
Not girls.
And
Though.
he's-
No girls gave a shit.
Yeah.
about me.
He's a Balenciaga model now.
Yeah. That's what's crazy is that he's pulling in 6 figures walking down the catwalk in Milan. Meanwhile, back then, there was no BTS. There was no fucking Korean skincare regimes. Us Asian boys were hung out to fucking dry in this
Asian
country.
boy stock is at an all-time high right now. In my life,
back
at
then,
least, in my life.
yeah. Oh no. It's like that hockey. That stock is a hockey stick thanks to the advent of Korean pop music. But in my time, oh my god,
Yeah, you were still riding the Bruce Lee wave.
Yeah.
the tail end, the sea foam of the
No,
Bruce
but even
Lee
the
wave.
Bruce Lee wave, like
Because it
was
had the
good, but it
biopic.
was
He had
like
that
a
biopic
stereotype.
dragon.
Yeah.
No, that was sick. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
No,
like,
but you know
I'll
what it
never
was?
have cool scratches. on
But
my
you know what it
face
was?
like that.
I remember straight up seeing a movie in like Cantonese in like middle school. It was like I was like watching a lot of movies. And it was a Cantonese movie, and there was a type of character that's a stock character in Cantonese comedies that just does not exist and still doesn't exist in like Western media, which is just horny Asian guy.
Yeah,
Like Asian guy who wants to fuck. Like, which is like a comic character, and it's like a stock character in like Cantonese soap operas and like Cantonese movies. But here, I remember seeing that, being like, huh, I just have never seen, like, you know what I mean? Like, Miles Morales' roommate is not sitting there being like, he's cool in the sneakers. Then the Spider-Verse movie, he's like, he's into sneakers. I'm like, what if he was into getting his dick sucked? What about that? Like, you know what I mean? A little too weird, right? Nobody wants to get into that, but I'm just saying this exists. This is a person.
Yeah,
But no representation for my horny Asian boys.
There was I feel like in the 80s they would have there would be like the Asian character it was almost like half the joke was like it's an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Listen to him talk and he's wearing his pants high. It was like some fucking, and that's just growing up. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I never got movies like, and then I remember Dragging Bruce Lee's story. There is a racist moment there between like the sailor and Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And I remember being conscious enough while watching this movie to be like, what? Because
Yeah,
dude,
I know.
sickest fucking break
greatest-
dancers in my school are Asian.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? Like he's gonna fuck you up. And also at this time, not that it was a good thing, but I also just assumed that every Asian person
new
knows martial arts.
Yeah.
It's the same way that every Jew has worn a kippah when they go to the like it's just part of life. Like
I
like
grew up in
9
a karate
idiot.
house.
So there's
I grew
no
up with-
shot I'm ever.
You karate house?
Yeah, like
his
my
dad's wild
my
with it.
dad's like been teaching karate.
Shodokan?
Yeah,
Like-
literally, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
God.
He's like a 6-dan black belt. It's like serious shit. He learned from the founder of his style's son, like straight from Okinawa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like it's pretty hardcore shit. So I kind of grew up with sort of like a reverence.
Your dad's the only dad on this podcast that can fuck us all up. probably,
Yeah, at the
Sounds
same
like
time.
sounds like you grew up having absorbed many powerful jutsus.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, my dad would make me like fucking carry buckets from the river every morning.
Did you aspire to be? Did you aspire to be?
What was
a
it?
higher
How old
level?
were you when you broke your first board?
I was in an incubator breaking boards. No, it wasn't. My dad was never into like the corniness. It was always very kind of like he was into the Zen stuff and to the actual like practicality of defense and stuff like that. But it was never.
Oh, so you couldn't like show off to your. Can I ask you a question? When you were
Yeah.
growing up, did you tell your friends that your dad could beat up their dads?
We all knew.
like yeah.
We knew so much. We knew so much that we knew other dads in the group that were pretty sick with it. Actually, in the realm of dads, there were some dads that were pretty sick with it, and his dad was far and above well known, far superior to those other dads. And those other dads also, because in the 90s, there was a lot of dads out in this Jewish neighborhood that we have that would have like Taekwondo or karate or other types of like
interesting.
physical combat pictures like in their houses. Everyone's dad's fucked with it. His dad really got
That's
down with
incredible.
it. Like kind of in the same way that like when I grew up, my generation, a lot of them wanted to be, for some reason, rappers. It's like all these dads
The
who
70s dads
knew
did
self-defense.
karate.
Their kids grew up and were like, I want to be a
70s
rapper.
dads, yes.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Lee. That's Bruce
Yeah,
Lee coming
exactly.
in right there and setting that.
Yeah,
But
so it
that
was,
wasn't the culture victory that was needed. What was needed was like the prettiest young men selected at
just
birth that
dressed-
put through the most gruel training.
The most grueling, disgusting, like ringer of all time. Yeah, and dressed like better than you've like anyone. Even
People-
like the frame, the frames
effeminate
tailor-made since
Spartans.
birth.
People always ask me like what it is that I liked about K-pop, and I was like, these are the best of the best of the best. If you like the NFL or you like the NBA, like this process to get a boy band is more intense than whatever a first round NFL draft pick went through. These guys were picked up, they were put in groups, separating groups, they've made friendships
Dial
fall
on.
apart. People falling out of the program.
Yeah, and
they're
also-
selected and trimmed down until these 5 who were the best and decided
the
that they're the best
crucible.
together, put in the best clothing by the best designers for this music video directed by the best director for the song produced by the best producer, all the money thrown into it. Yes, it's a product, but I feel
it's
like
so
we're such
refined.
consumers, like our generation.
Yeah,
I got the
It's
amount of
perfect-
Disney behind me is nauseating. Like one company
It's
owns our childhood.
It's
Like
a
we're
perfect-
consumers.
It's a perfect product. And also even go so far as to be like, hey, listen, the NFL, yeah, it might be tough. Hey, have you ever heard of anyone in the NFL getting dropped by their team because a single photo leaked with them with a cigarette in between their fingers? And now, they don't sing anymore.
No,
you
they're
understand
beating,
like how
they're
fucking
beating their
crazy?
wives in the elevator on camera, and that's like they're getting a 2-game
Yeah,
suspension.
that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, like someone is like, oh, it turns out these two people were dating. It's like, well, they'll never work again.
Yeah. Well, they'll be executed by sunup.
The stakes. Yeah, they're sending them to the front lines. The stakes involved. Do you know what I mean? That's the high tension that I go for K-pop. I'm with you on that.
You know, order a
I want the
BTS
best
drone
thing.
strike.
That
on
was
them.
my reason. That's why I was like, when the vaccine first came out, I'm like, God damn, I'm first in line. You want to know why? You're going to complain about the American healthcare system. This is what we are buying. We are buying a fast track pharmaceutical company, high level. Every scientist is working on this because it's going to be profitable for them. It's like, this is the Rolls Royce of medical science. You get your ass. I'm
I
first
said
in
that
line.
when I
the
got
flip
my
side of
boosters, all my
capitalism.
boosters, people were like, why are you getting boosted so much? They were like, why are you getting boosted so much? I was like, 'cause I paid for this shit, bro.
I
Like, I paid for this, dude. Of course. They're like, you're too young to be boosted this much. I was like, fucking put it in me. Find a vein.
Put it in
Find
me.
a vein.
I want to be on the cutting fucking edge in all things. You understand? I have a 42-inch computer monitor at home at 4K,
I got
120 frames a second.
I
got a
mad at
Fauci
them when I found
tattoo.
out that the vaccine companies were all suing. When all the vaccine companies started suing each other, I got mad. I was like, I feel like I should get paid too. I got boosted 6 times. Like, everyone's suing each other. I want some of that cash. Like, give me some of it back.
I'm a
bought in.
stakeholder.
You're
Fred,
I boofed it.
I
feel better now.
I got a last question here for you, Freddie, before we go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fast food?
Ooh. Okay, hold on. Fast food from, you gotta be specific. Fast food item or fast food chain or you know what I'm saying? Like what chain? The fast
It's like
food
you got
chain that lives
$20,
at the top
you
of
got
my
any
heart.
fast food chain, you know, you're probably leaning
in the world,
more-
in the world,
America.
in the
Yeah,
world.
you could go in the world, but I also want your America. Yeah, I want both.
Okay, I'll give
could
you.
say the world
They're
if the
both
world
America.
is
They're both
above.
America. They're both America. The best fast food chain, in my opinion, is Culver's. Culver's is a Midwestern. It's essentially the Midwestern In-N-Out. It's just better in every way.
You know they
It's
got a
just-
curd burger right now.
They do.
going on?
Oh yeah,
I want it
dog.
so fucking badly.
Cheese
It's a curd.
curds. They
It's
do
a
custards.
fried cheese curd the size of the
Oh,
patty.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Culver's has been
What's
coming
the
up.
sauce
It's
that
been
goes
coming
Culver's.
up.
I'm telling you.
Pull that up, Lynch. Put that on the screen.
It's butter. They got like they love
They do
the butter
burgers, dog.
butter burgers.
Culver's is the move. Highly recommend Culver's. But as far as like the straight ahead anywhere, you know, sort of national chains, because Culver's is kind of limited regionally. National chain, I go Taco Bell every time. Taco Bell's the only fast food restaurant that I order a la carte like I'm royalty. Like if I'm at McDonald's, I'll sit there and be like, all right, I'll do my number one, and then maybe I'll get some chicken nuggets. Taco Bell, it is a full reset and like a decision. I interrogate my soul every time I look at that fast food. I look at the fucking drive-thru menu and I'm like, yes, I need this. And it's like, I know that I'm doing it right because I look in the bag and it's like 4 sets of silverware. Good.
Yeah, exactly. I do the same thing at Taco Bell. I go there, I go off because there's things that have to happen. When I go to Taco Bell, I am 100% getting a chalupa.
100% getting a chalupa.
If I go to
Non-negotiable.
Taco Bell,
That's a
I'm
foundation.
I'm getting a cheesy gordita crunch, non-negotiable. If I go to Taco Bell, I'm also getting one soft and one hard taco. That's the basis.
Ooh, that's the baseline.
That's only the basis, and then I'm like,
That's like it's
What
like
else
in
you got?
jazz. They get the bass, they get the chords of the song, and then I improvise over.
yeah,
it.
exactly. And then I'm like, now show me what's going on this month, you sick fuckers. You always got something going on. Oh, it's Fritos, spicy Fritos inside of a burrito for 79 cents somehow. Sure. The reason why I like to order a lot at Taco Bell, though, is because other than the first 4 items I mentioned, I might like the other stuff. However, half of what I order next fails.
Yeah.
It fails. And I get it. I bite into something. I get all sour cream. For whatever reason, they put
And
it
you walk
together
away.
weird.
You walk away.
I get all sour cream. I'm done with this. I put it back in the bag. I
Yeah,
give
but
it
see
to a
that's what
friend that's with me.
that's what Taco Bell is. Whereas like McDonald's, I expect and I receive every time, right? The receive never exceeds expectations. Taco Bell, it's like living. It's like the live Moss mentality means that every time you go out to bat, you could come back and be like, I have discovered a revelation. It won't be every time, right? But sometimes. That's what you get for Taco Bell. Taco Bell is for the bold, is for the people who are not afraid to experiment, to be willing to be challenged. And I think that we all in this crazy topsy-turvy world, you know, we all need to be willing to be challenged a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing. I am challenged. Hey, Freddie, what do you got? Thanks for coming on. What do you got that people should check out? Where should they? Where
so
can they watch the video game High School
our-
animated origin story of Dean Calhoun? Oh, you didn't tell them about that yet? Okay, next time.
We'll do something. We're working on stuff still. I know it sounds crazy, but you know the industry was going through a lot of stuff. We do a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. It's called Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast. You can find that at any podcast place and dungeonsanddaddies.com for all the links. And then Matt and I finished a movie called We're All Gonna Die. We're figuring that out, but that's going to be coming out here probably pretty soon in the next like few months or so. That's like a sci-fi road trip movie that we shot over the pandemic. So yeah, we've been
Fucking
busy.
Awesome.
it's just been doing well. And hope you've been doing good too, man. We've been playing video games, dog.
We
It's
do. We
great.
game. That's the truth, guys. I actually talk to Freddie so often because we're out there. We're out
Because
there.
we're
in
gripping,
Warzone,
we're
bro.
gripping,
fucking-
we're gripping our gamer mice with all the skate pads and everything, just like tuned to our hands.
We're
just trying to
grinding
get-
and
we're
gripping
grinding,
and
dude.
gaming and goofing and
Yes.
gumming. We're gumming, dude. All right, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
Big
me,
Lynch
man.
hold down Donnie over here and me.
Yes, sir.
Peace.